fine day in California.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of this month's episode. I get that wrong every time. Of the Friday night feature, the one part of the month where we talk about all the movies that Jared would never let me. This month we are talking about some Die Hard, but first I just want to know, how's everyone doing today?
Pretty good.
So, and Chris, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad the weekend is finally coming here.
Yeah, it's doing.
TGIF, mother duckers. So, how about we just jump into some headlines, shall we?
Sweet.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, past hysteria.
All right, so welcome to Headline Hysteria, where we talk about all the topics that are important, but perhaps not important enough for a full thing. So, all right, so we got the Superman trailer. We've got some more Jared Leto stuff. We got some hot off the Phoenix press, and we got some Sonic 3. What do you guys want to tackle first?
Can I just say first, the Gobbo's gone now. She said, Auntie, I can't shut my mouth. I can't keep my mouth shut. And I said, well, why don't you go check on Grandpa for me? I didn't tell her to shut her mouth. I didn't tell her to keep her mouth shut.
You could have.
I didn't know. I don't know where it came from, but she just said that.
Just give her a copy of Avengers 200. She'll be occupied for hours.
No, never.
Oh, God. That's
I love my nieces. I don't want to put them through that. But I'm good to go with whatever topic. I just wanted to bring that up.
Nick, how come Brie Larson's character is having sex with her son?
No.
What?
That's what happens in the comic, Chris. You never read it?
Oh God, no! I'm kind of glad I didn't.
So we made her read it live on air.
Well, to be fair, we all read it. We all
read it, but I made Nyx play the part of both Carol Danvers and her son.
Jared is a sadistic bastard.
Thank you. It was just as funny as it sounds, Chris.
No, Mom, I feel weird. It's okay, son.
So this a-hole was reading for the Vision, but he read him like Captain frickin' Kirk.
So, Jared, what you do not understand is I wanted to make the stream extra interesting. Also, I
wanted him to sound like a robot, but
apparently
he was very rebellious.
I mean, rebellions
all seniors are, so it's all good.
But Jared, don't you know, rebellions are built off of hope.
Oh God!
Wasn't that line like in the trailer, but not in the actual movie?
I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Yeah, Star Wars has an emotional scar on me.
So speaking of rebellion, one crappy segue. So apparently Jared Leto is going to be Skeletor.
I could see that.
What?
That is literally the only reason I brought up the topic. It's like use that clip.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I would need to see it before I have any kind of opinion, because like his Joker was awful. I don't think anybody.
His Morbius was awful.
Yeah, but I don't.
It's Morbid time.
I knew that was coming as soon as someone said it.
Well, I don't think it was him
By
so
the way,
much as
Chris. Have you seen his Joker in the Snyder cut though?
Yes, yeah, where he was in the car and they were getting attacked or chased by Batman.
No. That's in Suicide Squad. I'm talking about the Snyder cut of Justice League.
I think so.
Wasn't he like a long-haired cult leader?
Yeah,
but I don't think it was a cult leader.
Yeah, I actually agree with Jared on this one. I wasn't a fan of his Joker material until I saw that scene. It was legit intimidating. Like the back and forth between him and Ben Affleck. Oh my God, you could have made an entire movie off of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that. That's the black and white one, right?
Either version has it.
Okay.
Because there's a colored version of the Snyder cut and a black and white version.
Gotcha.
So Chris, ask Jared how many times he's seen the Snyder Cut.
How many times have you had to sit down
16.
for 4 hours? Good God, man!
I plan on getting to an even 20 by my birthday.
Oh,
So Jared's biggest flex is for his 1,000 subscriber special. I got a cameo by the person who voiced Darkseid, because I knew he'd love that. And Ray Porter said, "You've seen it 16 times? That's more than me, and I'm in it." So Jared has seen the Snyder Cut more than Darkseid.
dude, that movie's like 4 hours long.
And it doesn't feel like 4 hours, bro. Let me put it this way. Matt Reeves' The Batman feels longer than the Snyder Cut.
Oh God.
I'm actually the same way about Dune. Like, Dune is like a 3-hour movie that does not feel like it.
Really, because I felt at least the first one. I haven't seen Dune 2, but the first one was like I was like, okay, wrap it up. I get it.
To me, it's like when I watch Dune, I kind of fall into like this meditative trance, where it's like I don't know. And Chris is like, Nick, is that a fancy way of saying you fall asleep every time?
Yeah, it is.
How do you have any brain cells left?
Well, it's very simple because everyone knows that watching the Snyder Cut makes your brain grow.
Are you saying you have to have a very high IQ to understand the Snyder Cut?
Yes. No, I'm saying when you watch it, the very act of watching it makes you smarter.
Wait.
I love how you caught yourself when you realized what I was saying.
I know.
No, so you're saying the Snyder Cut will stave off dementia and help people with Alzheimer's? Oh,
Yes.
Jesus.
Hey, Marty! I slowed down time. Everything's slow-mo. We're a Snyder Cut film now.
So it's kind of funny. There's a channel that watches really long movies and then sees how long it takes him to fall asleep. And so he watched in two separate videos, obviously. He watched the Snyder Cut and he watched Matt Reeves. He was awake all day, all through for the Snyder Cut with Matt Reeves within a half hour.
Wow.
No, so you're saying he has a TTS, time to sleep?
Yeah, exactly.
A little clock in the bottom corner, like.
Oh God, that's.
Which, to be clear, I like the Matt Reeves Batman movie. It's just there are a few times where it kind of lingers, and I'm like, get to the point.
Yeah.
I like the Matt Reeves movie, but that film just does not know when to end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It has a really big problem in the last third of like, is it over yet? Like you think it's over, but then like, oh crap, there's like another half hour of this movie.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, yes, watch the Snyder Cut part. That's way better.
So speaking of movies that are doing well, so apparently Sonic 3 has come out and I think it's got like 89% Rotten Tomatoes, and it's on track to beat Mufasa.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
Whoa. I know Kung Fu.
Again, I will never get over the fact that for the character in Sonic that uses guns, they cast John Wick.
Yep. I love it. Perfect.
I will
They knew what they were
never
doing.
let that go.
Yeah.
Apparently he really enjoyed playing Shadow.
I'm sure you did. It's basically Sonic's version of John Wick.
Yep.
Also, I would not be surprised if Paramount Plus does a Shadow. Because I'm sorry, you have Keanu Reeves as a very popular character. I think a spin-off series on Paramount Plus.
They are doing a fourth movie.
Oh.
Oh God!
But
But
I
I've seen-
series.
Yes,
Yeah, it was okay.
if they do a Shadow series, can the intro just be the intro from his game?
Well, seeing as
We has the pump action M4.
Yeah.
my favorite fact is Jeff Fowler actually worked on Shadow the Hedgehog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if you go on the credits, his name's in the credits for I think he worked at Blur Studios or something. He made some
Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird that like Sonic of all the properties is faring very well in its movie adaptations?
Because they're not putting a bunch of crap in there, and they actually have people that care about the IP.
Yeah, like it started off really bad with Ugly Sonic, and then I don't know what happened. Like somebody in the higher ups went, guys, whoever made that decision needs to go. Let's put in somebody else, and they did. And it's been like, I mean, sure, there's little quibbles here and there or whatever with the films, but in all honesty, I think the Sonic the Hedgehog films are probably in the very top of how you adapt a video game to a.
This is my personal theory: is there was probably some contention over the design. Like there was probably like a lot of heated debate, and they pushed out the trailer anyway. And this guy's like, see the reaction.
Well, actually,
I told you.
Actually,
Yep.
I was actually watching an interview with Blur Studios. What actually happened is that when they were making the design for Sonic, they were making it so it's easy to animate. And then when they saw the reaction, obviously they're like, okay, you know what? We'll put out a statement. We'll redo the design. It was not a marketing thing.
Well, the redesign though was so drastic. Like
It
the
was,
amount
right?
of work. Yeah, and like the amount of work into that. That said that like somebody with money or somebody that was at the very top with decision-making authority went, no. We got to course correct now. And we got to do it drastically.
Yeah.
And they
I
did,
think
and it paid off.
I think you wouldn't have had that without nearly 3 decades of bad video game adaptations,
Mhm.
which has caused a lot of the rights holders, especially the ones to like big IPs like Mario and Sonic, to be like, all right, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right. That's why the Mario movie made $1 billion. It has some problems, but it could have been a lot worse.
Well, I heard that like they intervened at the 11th hour because, like you said, it was not the film that was intended, like what we saw. And it's like my personal opinion, I have zero tolerance for girl boss bullshit or BS.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is bad. But like, it could have been so much worse. And I don't know, but Sonic, for some reason, they got it right. Like, it's such a perfect sweet spot. Like, there were so many things in that where I'm like, oh my God, they're doing it. They even had Jim Carrey tell, like, Idris Elba, I can show you the way. Like, come on, man.
They even had Super Sonic. And I was like,
Yep.
oh, I know what they're doing.
Yep.
I want to say that I really appreciate Jim Carrey's dedication to the role, and every time he comes back for like another movie, he gets progressively more Eggman like.
Yes.
Or like, I love where Eggman is facing down Gold Sonic and goes, I like the look. It works for you.
Or how with every movie his costume gets even more Robotnik. Like just we're at Sonic 3. And his Eggman suit is like game accurate. Like he's got the
now the question, Nick, when you see this and you see the chows, are you going to get PTSD?
No, my foot is going to get the desire to kick the baby.
Wow.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, Chris, when this a-hole played Sonic Adventure 3, he would throw the chows places.
Sonic Adventure 3. Are you
Throw them,
Jared?
hit them,
Jared,
steal their food.
Jared, did you just hop into a different timeline? You said Sonic Adventure 3.
Yes, I did. I did.
It's okay, Jared. It happens to 1 in 5.
Well, I'm making a prediction that no, actually, because I guarantee you that when they inevitably come out with Sonic Adventure 3, there's going to be Chow Garden in it, and you're going to throw the babies.
Don't kick the baby.
Tell me I'm wrong.
or if they
Nick,
come
am
out
I
with like,
wrong?
or imagine they actually do a remastered version of Sonic 1 and 2 with like a full-on online Chow Garden, and I do a stream.
Yeah, why do they have an Angry Bird slingshot in this one?
You invent a new game of football, but the ball is a chow.
Chow Ball.
Chow ball, exactly.
Oh God.
All of a sudden, it's like Knuckles throws a chow. All of a sudden, you hear.
Yeah, the Doppler effect.
Nick's just standing there cringing.
She's like, God damn it, Nick.
Yeah.
All right, so before we go on the main topic, I just want to kind of give a few updates. So we just dropped a huge update on the Kickstarter for Lost Kingdom, as well as we dropped the first piece of concept art. I'll be having those done throughout the months. We'll see that. As for Screecher, I will be picking up issue 3. I'll be doing that on Monday. So Yeah, so we should be doing wave 1 of the shipping in early January. So yeah, that'll be sweet. So I guess we'll launch into the main topic. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes,
Why?
it takes place on Christmas time. By that logic, Shazam is also a Christmas movie. It counts.
Well, also, Christmas is a key component of the film. If you took Christmas out, why would they all be gathered together in an office party?
Exactly. Thank you, Chris. I never thought of that.
Well, I think the qualifier for a Christmas movie is obviously has to take place around Christmas.
Mhm.
But also the movie's themes have to be wrapped. Like, for example, Iron Man 3 is not a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is. It takes place around Christmas time, and he gives Pepper a present.
No.
Isn't that the one with the little kid in it that
Yes.
like he's having?
Yes.
a
He
panic
gives that
attack?
kid a whole new workshop. That's a Christmas miracle.
Legit,
No,
and also
No, that's it. That's a you met a billionaire, helped him out for a week, and he
On
thanked
Christmas
you.
time.
I mean, it was kind of a Christmas gift. I'm pretty
Thank
sure there was, like,
you.
a card.
It was
there
even
something?
wrapped.
Legit, like. So, like,
Chris,
Kind
do you
of
want to
is.
answer that question?
Why not both?
So the answer is yes.
But when you think about it, Die Hard is also a Christmas movie because when you think about it, John McClane gives the terrorists the greatest gift of all, a chest full of bullets.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
sweet
the gift
release
of
the
certainty.
best.
Yeah,
Oh,
the gift of certainty, whether or not there is a god.
What,
Oh yeah.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that
even
wouldn't make
goes,
any sense.
Oh, that counts. I think
Yeah.
at one point he has a Santa hat.
Yeah, well,
Wait.
yeah, the ho 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 part wouldn't make sense if it wasn't a Christmas, you know.
But yeah, the plot itself wouldn't work without the Christmas setting. You know,
Mhm.
for sure.
Thank you.
And you know, obviously, they use a lot of the Christmas music. Like I love the part where they open the vault. It says "Merry Christmas."
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Christmas is up the yin yang in that movie. Ergo, it's a Christmas movie, as is Iron Man 3.
The one thing that I actually kind of like about this movie is they kind of skip like the whole like, yeah, they're separated, but it's very much clear that they're still like highly in love with the way they talk. Like obviously they have something that separates them. Like there is a huge issue, but you can very much tell they're both in love with each other. They both still very much care about each other.
Yeah.
And I think that was so refreshing.
Yeah. By the way, Nick, I know we're talking about Die Hard, but back to Iron Man. There's literally a line in Iron Man 3. There's literally a line in Iron Man 3 where he goes, "What are you waiting for? It's Christmas. Take him to church." That line does not work unless you have the Christmas plot in
Oh
there.
my god!
That's true.
Ah! There you go, Nick.
Executive decision. Iron Man 3 is not a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is. You cannot objectively take that away because if you take away that logic, Die Hard ceases to become a Christmas
No,
movie.
Die Hard has a lot
That's
of
true.
other. No. There's so many other things because the plot of Iron Man 3 would work if you would still work if you remove the Christmas.
Then why is is when you even see the vice president, he's at a Christmas party? That wouldn't make sense.
He would be at a different party. The whole point is, if you take away the Christmas aspect, does the plot still work? If you take away the Christmas aspect of Die Hard, the plot doesn't work.
Yes, it does. Because terrorists just walk into that office building and take it over. I guarantee you all those people would be working in that office building even if it weren't Christmas.
No, the point is they took it over at the Christmas party where most of the office is already deserted. You have people in an area. Also, cops generally are a lot laxer on Christmas because like everyone's either at there or they just want to do, you know. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't
Same
make it a
thing for
generic
Iron Man.
holiday.
Why do you think the Secret Service and or the police didn't find the president when he was in a giant Iron Patriot suit? I'm not letting this go, sir.
Well, did you guys ever see the advent calendar of it looks like a New Year's Eve Christmas or New Year's Eve ball drop, but instead it's Nakatomi Plaza with a little Hans Gruber and it says, "It ain't Christmas
Yes!
until Hans Gruber falls."
So
Yes! Oh my
here are some
gosh.
here are some fun facts of the movie. Nakatomi Plaza is actually the Fox building, and so this was made by Fox. The movie essentially had to Fox had to charge itself rent. for
Does
this
that
movie.
mean that this
Wow.
exists in the X-Men movie continuity?
And it certainly exists in the Family Matters continuity.
Yeah,
No,
that's Carl
I'm
Winslow.
serious. This is an X-Men universe
Jared.
movie.
Jared, connect this to Family Matters without using witness protection.
No, no, because that only works if it's like one specific person.
Oh,
It is one specific person. Carl freaking Winslow is in this movie.
dude, I
Is
just
he
thought
playing
of
this
something. No, he's playing a cop in both Family Matters and in.
That doesn't count
Die
because
Hard.
he could just be a cop that like happens to be at both locations.
But like, what if this? Okay, so we just linked Die Hard to the entire TGIF universe.
Oh my
Because
God!
Perfect
Are you
Strangers-
searching Die Hard and Sabrina the Teenage Witch are in this?
Yes!
Oh my god!
And like Full House, so like DJ and Michelle.
Can
could
I
be at
do
Nakatomi.
that?
And wait. The John McClane spinoff of Full House is called Full Mag.
Oh, Michelle.
You got it, dude.
Just imagine if they had Urkel on the terrorist team. They would
Oh,
have.
and then what you don't know is that because this is also because remember how John McClane encountered a lot of water on the tower from like the sprinklers. This is where he would get the fear of water from the
Unbreakable.
M. Night Shyamalan superhero movie Unbreakable.
Oh God!
It exists
Oh,
in the
God.
Unbreakable universe.
Are we
Oh, my-
doing a Are we doing a
No, I
Bruce
was
Willis cinematic universe?
No, but what you don't know is that he was on the train because he was just leaving New York City from the Die Hard incident.
Are you saying that John McClane is the same guy from the Expendables?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am.
Wow.
Mr. Church,
Oh,
exactly.
connected.
Jared, you've been back.
No,
now
actually-
I'll be back.
Actually, the entire movie, the entire, all these movies, it's just Church going through all of these different scenarios.
So my favorite line is from Expendables 2, where Arnold's like, "I'll be back." He's like, "No, you've been back. I'll be back." And then
And-
Arnold's like, "Yippee-ki-yay, mother effer!" Like they
Yeah.
Can we just take a quick aside though to say, like, poor Bruce Willis, man.
Yeah.
His health.
At least he's well taken care of. It seems like
His family is like really.
horrible man. I don't know what you're saying.
Gluten Tag muchachos anchas.
I have no idea what that means.
I think it's
That just-
good day in German and then muchachos in Spanish.
Okay,
Oh my God, you a-hole!
so we're combining languages now. Cool.
Jawohl. Man.
Nix, what are you saying?
I was just saying, like, it's got to be really depressing though for him. Like, well taken care of or not, suddenly not being able to do things you've done all your life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he lost the capacity for speech a couple of months ago too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like what he did. Like I got to hand it to him, man. He's got my respect. He knew his health was fading. He knew he was on his way out. So he basically took any and every job he could, the shittiest movies out there, and he did them just so he could get revenue to support his family after he was no longer able to bring in the money.
All right, so we got the girlfriend saying Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Cajun.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, another fun fact. This almost starred Frank Sinatra.
Really?
Oh, really?
Wow.
As who?
So-
Hans Gruber?
No, as John McClane.
Oh,
these are-
damn.
Oh,
These
wow.
These are based on a series of novels.
Yeah.
Die Hard is actually the second one. So the first one was actually done by Frank Sinatra, like, I think 10, 15 years prior.
Mhm.
And he had it in his contract that he had right of first refusal for any sequels. So when they were
Wow.
doing this movie, they had to offer to Frank Sinatra, who was still alive at the time, the dude was older than dirt, so of course he said no, and that's what opened it up. And people don't realize, before this movie, Bruce Willis was a TV star, Moonlight.
Yep.
This made his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did. Turned him into an action star. Man.
And then his
Yeah.
movies got, and then the Die Hard movies got progressively worse.
Yeah, they did.
All right, Nick, so you got to head off?
Yep.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, Nick. You're welcome to pop back in if you want.
Yeah.
See
Have
ya.
a good one. Man. Oh, I should have wished her a Merry Christmas.
All right.
I don't
Shouldn't you wish
think,
her a happy Hanukkah?
well, she's not part of the tribe. but yeah, it's hard to believe next week at this time it'll be after Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I'm actually not going to be doing my Monday or Tuesday shows next week because it's so close to Christmas. So,
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you about that, Nick. So okay, we're good. All right.
Man, not to go like on a completely different tangent, but guys, have you seen the Steam sales recently?
Is there another bad game I can get, Nick?
Dude, like, so I even bought that Party Animals game.
What?
Yeah, one of my friends, Horny Alf, he does game stream.
What?
Horny
What?
Alf. Horny Alf. I was like, wait, did I hear that correctly? And then Nick, you reacted exactly the way I did because I'm like, okay, it wasn't just me.
Well, he's part of the Legion of Memers, and he's got an awesome like they do game streams, and there's a lot of really fun like group games like Demonologist and Phasmophobia, and Helldivers 2. And like, look at this. Some of these sales, like some of them are not so great.
Look at that. Steelfar Stick of Truth.
$3.
Yeah, that's
freaking dollars.
Divinity Original Sin.
Yep, the enhanced edition, $4. Yeah, Arkham Origins, $2.
Do not buy Titanfall 2. That game is borked.
Yeah,
Multiplayer is
I have it on Xbox.
Vermintide, Back for Blood, Grim Dawn, like Planet Coaster is $224. Oh god. Firewatch. Oh god. These are
Steam sales.
yeah. And-
yeah.
And don't forget to do the voting thing because you can get some cool stickers and cards and stuff.
Okay. Also, Siege of Dragonspear is that's the one that has the Gamergate joke in it.
Nice.
No, there's literally a joke like, oh, but I thought it was about ethics and adventuring.
Oh God.
Yeah, that aged well.
Yeah. Oh, what's The Witcher 3? $8 for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Yeah, that's a base edition. That's what they don't tell you.
Ooh,
Some.
Oh, Kami, damn, $5. Okay, I'm getting that.
Well, they're doing the HD version. They're doing the remake. Like, I actually might pick up Persona 5 because that's actually a really good deal.
Yeah.
I love. Oh, Outlaws is actually $35.
Yeah.
Still too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you see that so they leaked out a Wii build of Star Wars Battlefront 3, the original.
Yeah.
And
I saw
someone
that.
this would have sold more than Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
It would have.
Yeah.
It looked great. By the way, you could play that game as a Nintendo DS game because it was a Battlefront game that came out for the Nintendo.
It was a PSP game as well.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And it's basically that campaign. Because I remember when I was watching all the leaked cutscenes, I was like, wait, this looks familiar. I played this.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Oh,
Here's my wish list.
Dude, look at 80%. Holy crap.
Yeah, and Vampire Appear is actually a really good game, I gotta say.
Nice.
Elite Dangerous.
Oh, damn.
You need a flight stick for that, bro.
Yeah.
Prey. Oh my god, look at Prey.
$3. 90%.
If only there were a game that said 99.9% off.
Wow. Yeah.
That would be Suicide Squad.
This is why I love PC gaming.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you're not going to
exactly.
get this on your PS5 or your Xbox Series X.
No.
The sad part is that if like I used to trade in games to GameStop, but I used to trade in like a stack of games, it's like $10. And I'm like,
90%, 90 freaking percent. That is wild.
Oh my god, Triangle Strategy. Oh yeah.
Look at Jedi Survivor. It's $15. That is so cool.
Do they have Unicorn Overlord on here, or is that
No?
specifically a console?
They refuse to port it to PC.
Oh. Okay, I take
Yeah.
back what I said about consoles. Touche, consoles.
Touche.
Man, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, hell, even Baldur's Gate 3, when that goes higher than 20% off, I'll definitely grab it.
Yeah. Oral Man
man.
is like, last game I got was a Soul Reaver remaster.
Oh, well,
I'm actually
Yeah.
considering buying the definitive trilogy because like they kind of fixed a lot of it now.
yeah. Dude, I heard that they actually, so they didn't make any money off of this, but they actually, after they caught all their flack for how garbage it looked when it first came out, like a year or so later, they just went and redid everything, and like no extra charge. So it's like, yeah,
Well, it was done. It was originally done for Netflix, like the Netflix kind of gaming side on the mobile,
Yep.
and then they just put that on the regular stuff. And I think it was more just for PR, really. Like, oh hey, we fixed it.
Yeah.
We're good now.
like No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky, they're still adding content.
Yeah, that's true.
But getting back to Die Hard,
Yeah.
like the movie still holds up. Honestly, like it's still like, it has a lot of the action movie tropes.
like not aiming when you're firing a fully automatic
Yeah.
weapon, not running out of a magazine. You know, like a news for you. If you take any gun and then go fully automatic, that's gonna go out like that.
That and the gun had no climb. Like if you've ever fired a fully automatic gun, yeah, you get knocked back and it goes up.
At least Call of Duty has that.
Yep.
Yeah, accurate recoil.
Yeah. I shot a 10 gauge shotgun once. Oh my god, dude! I was a fat kid. I was like 200 pounds. Okay, and like they're like, you better make sure that stock is against your shoulder because it's gonna really leave a mark because it kicks like a mule. I'm like, okay, yeah, I got it all braced and everything. I'm all scared, and then they pulled the skeet for me to shoot. I shot it and it put me on my ass. I'm like, I have no idea what I hit, but that gun just knocked me like a foot back.
Or the best part is, you get some skinny noodle kid goes into a gun shop like, I want to try guns. I want to shoot a Desert Eagle.
Oh
And
yeah,
the gunner's
good luck.
Well, you know what I did?
The gunner, no. The gunner was like, okay, son, here, sign these forms. Pay me a lot of money. And they're like, guys, watch this. And like, click. And it's like, because like a Desert Eagle, they you know.
So
and
speaking
it
of a
hits you in the
deagle,
head.
so my first range day I went to,
Mhm.
you guys know what a Barrett M107 is, right?
An
Ooh.
M107. Yeah, that's I'm
It's
trying
the-
to.
It's the sniper rifle from Call of Duty. So I got to shoot one.
Mhm.
So I'm behind it. I'm
Is that a
sitting
50 cal?
down. So I pull the trigger. So someone has it on video. What happens is it just pushes back a little bit. I didn't feel any recoil. What happens is that first it fogged up my sunglasses. And then
wow.
if you look at so it was raining, and then the shockwave from the front of the rifle knocked rain off the tarp.
Oh,
I'm like, what the hell?
Was that
Wow.
a 50 cal?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's like a vehicle killer.
Oh yeah, it's designed just to shoot engine blocks and helicopters. So when people are jumping around with it in Call of Duty, I'm like, nope, you cannot do that.
I mean,
Well,
it's
anybody
good enough
running
for
and gunning.
RoboCop. It's good enough
Yeah,
for
yeah,
RoboCop.
exactly. You got like
Mhm.
AI aiming in RoboCop, but like that always blew my mind. Where like you've got these movies and stuff where the dudes are running while they're shooting. It's like no, like if you've ever fired a gun, most of your aiming is done with your feet. Like you have to like brace yourself.
I do love.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I do love in Terminator when he's using like the minigun that are designed for a helicopter.
Yeah.
Like only someone like Arnold could even lift the gun and maybe,
Well, it's like even in the armed forces, what they do is that if they need to shoot and move, what they do if they have two guys, they have one guy shoot, the other guy runs, turns around, covers the other guy as he moves. So it's like they're still firing, but they're also running.
Yeah, that's why I like a lot of those like LMPs. They have like the tripod on the front because they're supposed to like whoop,
It's called a bipod. Tripod has
blow
three.
me, blow me, sir.
Hey,
Have you guys ever
don't
heard
ask,
of
don't
John
tell
Ba-
is legal in the military. So there you
Oh
go.
my
Have you ever heard
God.
of John Basilone?
Yeah.
That dude pulled exactly what Nick just said. You know how the Arnie thing, how like he actually pulled out of a machine gun nest, one of those Gatling style guns, and ran through the battlefield holding that. It burned the crap out of his hands. Like he burned his hands to cinders or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's how it was like some Iwo Jima battle or something in the Pacific. He actually saved his entire platoon by getting out of the machine gun nest with the gun that was on the bipod I think it was a tripod. It was some type of nested stand for the gun, and it had the rotating Gatling like the Vulcan on that Arnie was carrying, and there were Americans describing what they saw, and I'm wondering if James Cameron said, "Yeah, hey Arnie, do that." Yeah, John Basilone, man, I totally forgot about that guy. But when you mentioned that, I was like,
Medal of Honor.
yeah, that dude is such
Hey,
a badass. Well, was.
Chris, do you watch The Fat Electrician?
The Fat Electrician?
He's a YouTuber that does a lot of history content.
And he highlights
no.
a lot of like really famous like World War II heroes.
Oh, like the
And-
guy with the claymore?
Like he's really I love like the way he does stories. Like he's a great storyteller first and
Nice.
foremost. But also he's really good about like showcasing like some of these World War II stories are just like way too crazy to believe. Or like the sniper with like the longest kill in Vietnam, like zeroed on a rock, and like there's somebody just literally just sitting on that rock.
Wow.
Mhm.
Jared, you know that
Yeah.
story.
Was that Carlos Hathcock?
I think so, yeah.
Might have been him. Yeah, exactly.
Mile-long sniper rifle. Yeah.
Mhm.
Different time zone. He pulls the trigger in the Eastern Pacific.
Yeah, I remember the first like book that I actually read that was like all about military history is like American Sniper.
Oh, yeah.
And I love when the movie came out and it's about the war in Iraq, fighting guys that would eventually turn to ISIS. And people are like, it's Islamophobic. I'm like, it's about the war in Iraq.
Yep. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That poor guy, man. He was such a good guy. And
Yeah.
he didn't deserve that.
Well, he
Mhm.
became a figurehead, really.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, I definitely would suggest watching that film because
Yeah, it's great.
I've seen
Yeah.
it. It's a great film. I think Clint Eastwood does a really good job of being fair, and Bradley Cooper
I
does an
love how the
amazing job.
SEALs spray paint the Punisher skull in all their gear because that's a
Yeah.
real thing. They would even
Yep.
spray paint it on the walls like, "Hey, we were here, assholes."
I wonder how the movie got the rights to do that because they had to have cleared that with Marvel.
Oh yeah. There's probably all sorts of money and remember
That
the
was back when
Spider-Man
Marvel
grave?
actually cared.
Yeah. Well, Marvel sued that grieving father who buried his son with a Marvel grave headstone.
The Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. But yeah, Clint Eastwood is an amazing director, dude. Like I was astounded by how I was like the guy that did The Outlaw of Josie Wales and A Fistful of Dollars. What? And like Gran Torino, like
Well,
$1
the
Million Baby.
thing about Clint Eastwood is he's well known for being a great director to work for. Like spots rarely open up in his.
So he's like
he
the
works-
Zack Snyder of his field. By the way, Chris, fun fact: have you ever seen the movie The 1517 to Paris?
I think so.
The three guys in that movie, they're played by themselves.
Oh damn!
Those are the actual guys that stopped that train thing.
Oh wow. Yeah, just do what you did. That's the director.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do what you did.
In fact, on the train, pretty much everyone on that train were the people that were there on that train, including the guy that got shot in the neck.
Oh my god.
That kind of reminds me of who here has seen that one Tom Hanks film where they did like the hijacking.
Captain
Phillips. Yes, I did. That was
one of my
amazing.
favorites
I'm mixed
is
up in
at the end of the movie where he's being seen by the nurse. That was an actual Navy nurse, and the direction they gave her is just act like you're doing the real thing. Like that why it was so authentic, because she was just pretending like she was doing her job.
Oh, a few of those SEALs were actual Navy SEALs.
Dude,
That is just unreal to me, because when you're taking a shot on the lifeboat and trying not to hit the captain as the boats are doing this, and I'm like, how do you do this?
Yeah, how do you
Jared,
compensate?
Jared, look at me. I'm the captain now.
Well,
Yeah.
a fun fact is that the SEAL Sniper School is the one school that you can fail out of, and your SEAL teammates won't like make fun of you. It's that tough.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
speaking
it's
of,
almost
like-
guaranteed you'll fail.
Yeah, speaking of famous lines, the thing about this movie is this movie kind of had a cultural hold for like the next 20 years, because like people were quoting Die Hard on the regular as late as like the late 2000s. Like Jared, Chris, I don't know if you guys like, people were still quoting Die Hard in the early 2000s. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, and there's parodies of it, and there was like, Die
like
Hard was definitely
Hans Booby, you know, like welcome to the party, pal. Like that's more lived on as like a famous gif or whatever.
Yippee-ki-yay.
But there's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like really famous lines here.
That, and I don't know, man. Alan Rickman as a villain was chef's kiss. Like he did Hans Gruber. Like, this is a British guy doing a German. Like it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so, like,
And what you don't know is that when he fell through to the street,
that was legit reaction.
What you don't know is that what actually happened is that he was teleported to the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
Okay,
Snape.
what actually happened is when they rigged him up, they told him, "All right, we're gonna pull the rig on the count of 3." They're like 1, and then they pulled the rig.
Yep, and that's a genuine reaction of him, like, "Whoa!"
That is so good. Oh God, that's great.
Yeah, I miss Alan Rickman, man. Like, but yeah, like this movie though, like I don't want to see a remake. I want it to be like one of those Rankin Bass
Hollywood
Christmas
will
specials.
try and make an all-female remake of Die Hard with Brie Larson.
Oh,
Joanna
you
McClane.
say that? You say that jokingly, but I guarantee you that's on the docket,
dude. Yeah, it's a joke, but to be honest, it could actually happen.
Yep. Yeah,
I think the time for that is passing. To be honest,
I really hope so.
Or they'll say, "Oh, we were working on this for a while, but didn't announce it."
Yep. God,
also, what I didn't realize is Peck is in this movie. Peck from Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
Hey Keely, how you doing? You doing? We're just dying harder.
Yeah. We're living free and dying hard.
Sue could say Die Hard is so good of a movie, it goes hard.
Yeah.
We're dying harder with a vengeance.
Yeah. But like
God,
seriously though, like I don't want to see a remake because it is a good zeitgeist. It places itself in a very specific cultural time point, like a fixed point in time. And it reminds me of those like Rankin Bass Christmas specials, or like, you remember A Christmas Story, where even though it was about the 40s, it took place, it was made in the 1980s, and there hasn't been any successful remakes or anything about it.
Did you know they actually made a sequel to The Christmas Story? And it was actually set in this, like they did one recently where it was actually set in the 70s.
Yeah.
They did 3 sequel. They did like 4 sequels to Home Alone. Of course they did, and they got progressively worse. Trust me.
Well, the first one is fine. The first one I think is legit.
But after the second one is like fine. The third one royally sucked, and then the other ones just
straight to DVD.
No. Particularly when they tried to do Kevin McAllister again, but they recast the kid, and I'm like, this isn't working, guys.
No.
I just want to like, I know the trend is like 30 years later. I just want to see like a 40-year-old Kevin McAllister, and he has to do the same shtick, but he's
No,
like a
Nick.
father now.
I have the perfect movie for you. Are you ready? It's like Home Alone. It's like a home invasion movie, but it's a team up. It's a multi-franchise team up between Batman, John Wick, and Kevin McAllister.
No, I got you one
Let's give
better.
up. Thirsty or more.
No. Here's. I'm just going to tell you the title: Predator, Home Alone. Kevin McAllister versus the Predator.
Honestly, I think the Predator's gonna lose at that point.
See what I love is Kevin McAllister's like Batman. You give him the that's like
Yeah.
the meme. You give him
The meme is like it was Kevin McAllister next to Batman. It's a two dangerous people with prep time.
Yeah.
or like
The more
Kevin
prep he
McAllister
has.
versus anything. The question is, does Kevin McAllister get prep time?
Now, what I would love is like I would like a Home Alone movie now because then he could use Amazon to like get all of his stuff. Go to the
Oh my
store
God.
now.
All right. No.
That's how you know it's good when Nick reacts to a
Send
meme like that.
tell us what it is in the private chat, Nick.
No. Oh God. I'm gonna. Oh God. This is Parrot Head. Oh God. I hate you.
Tell me what is it, Nick? Use your words or type it in the private chat.
Oh,
Too spicy for TV. But
yeah.
what the one thing though I gotta say about the Home Alone series, like the Home Alone series is Kevin McAllister or is Macaulay Culkin, and a lot of people in the industry don't understand what Macaulay Culkin brought to the table.
Maturity. Basically he spoke
He was
like an adult.
precocious. Yeah, he was basically Ender from Ender's Game. Like he was an adult in a child's body.
Yeah,
Or at least-
and the thing is, he was.
What you
like,
don't know is that Home Alone was also the first attempt at getting an Ender. So what happened is that was a computer simulation to see how can we create like a tactically minded genius.
Like it was all the simulation and Marv and Harry.
It was
just got
all
two different sides.
no, all of these movies. Yes, Ender's Game is the same universe as Home Alone.
It was all in the
What
Home
you
Alone.
don't know, well, actually, here's what they did. What you don't know is that Ender is what's called a chimera. What they did is is the blend of
All right,
DNA
enough
of
about
John
Ender. Enough
Wick,
about Ender. Jared, just stop.
Culkin, and Batman.
All right, we're getting way. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think they'll capture light or what is it?
Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, because like Kevin Macaulay Culkin was a phenomenon, and like back in the day, like in the early '90s when his career was taking off, he was in everything. Richie Rich. He had his own like other like. He was that good of a child actor because a lot of times, let's face it, dude, child actors are freaking bad. They're
You guys
annoying.
remember when they tried to take Donald Trump's cameo out of Home Alone 2 and everyone freaked out?
Yeah, why would you do that? Like,
And the thing is, Kevin Macaulay kind of disappeared after the 2000s.
yeah,
Because the thing you realize is his dad was an abusive shit to him.
yeah, his dad was a piece of shit. Yeah,
And by the time he turned 18, he had enough money to live his life comfortably. He had won at life essentially. Honestly, I don't like the guy has a great life. He married a beautiful woman. He married a Disney Channel star. They have a great kid. He seems to have a great marriage. He still acts. He still does stuff.
yeah,
But he just picks what he wants to do. Like the dude was in an AVGN video where they reviewed Home Alone games. How cool is that?
and the Page Master and My Girl. Like,
Oh God, the Page Master. I love that movie.
yeah, like he's like, it's weird that he peaked so early, but he's an amazing actor. He was a great actor. And
So
a lot
apparently,
of actors can't say that.
I think they're adding Macaulay Culkin to he's getting added to the season of a popular show next season. Him or what it was. But here's the question: what if there was a Home Alone movie starring the Fox Kids, Marvel Universe Spider-Man, with him trying to?
Now that's a better one. Yes. But so what it turns out is that at first, Spider-Man was the first attempt because they thought if we give someone mutant powers from a spider, would that make them an effective commander if we put them in these situations? So Spider-Man was V1. V2 was Kevin. And then Ender was like V503. Yes, I have strung together all the Child Protect Home movies into one continuity.
So
Eat that, Warner
apparently,
Brothers.
Macaulay Culkin, because the Home Alone house is up for sale.
Oh.
So they did the millennial white thing all over it. It looked disgusting. There is a full-size basketball court in the basement.
Wow.
You know what we should do? We should all chip in, buy the house, and then recreate Home Alone.
It's
Dude.
$5 million.
What was Kevin McAllister's dad doing for a job?
Yeah, I know. That's a
afford
good
that?
question. How are you this? We never find that out.
He's like the mafia.
Or
Like,
it's
come
like
on.
even in the fourth movie when the dad's divorced, he has this essentially bat cave.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Kevin McAllister is secretly Damian Wayne.
Oh.
Look at Nick's face, because if his father's Batman, it explains why he has an expensive house
In
and
Chicago?
a bat cave.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
Yeah, Batman is operating out of Chicago.
What if it was like an origin story for MacGyver? Like-
That's who. Are you telling me Damian Wayne grows up to be MacGyver?
One of my favorite bits of lore is in like one of the later Home Alone movies, they actually get the actor for Buzz to come back and play his old character, like he's like a police security guard, and he makes a mention about, oh, how ironic is it that they have a McAllister security system? So apparently, in the Home Alone universe, Kevin actually went and made a security company, which I gotta say,
It's
that
a front.
does make sense.
It's a front.
I gotta say, him going into security does make sense. I
Yeah,
gotta be honest.
he's obviously
Yeah.
good at it.
He walks in, he's doing the walkthrough. He goes, okay, I need all your Christmas balls and paint cans. And
Yeah.
that's all
Do
I
you have
need.
any blow torches?
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any BB guns that I could shoot into a criminal's groin?
I mean, the thing about the Home Alone movies is you got to realize the films operate on cartoon logic. Like, how many of those traps would just straight up kill them?
Well, did you ever see Corridor Crew where they did
Yes,
the
they
ultraviolet?
did an R-rated Halloween. What they did, Nick, is that they made it so Kevin is actually a serial killer.
Yeah.
And what they did is at first he kills his family. So they make it super like scary. It's like he goes, "I made my family disappear."
Even better. Have you heard the fan theory that the Home Alone movies are actually a prequel to the Saw films?
Yes.
But so in this, what happens is, so Marv and the other guy, they're just like there to rent the Airbnb, and they show up. Kevin kills them, but they use VFX to make this actually like killing. Like when Marv steps on the nail, it rips his foot in half.
Yeah,
he falls out, and when the iron falls on him, it actually goes into his head. And then the way they do the other like traps is they have lookalikes of Marv and of the weapon show up. It's a cousins convention.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the one where Marv sticks his head through the doggy door and Kevin's waiting with the BB gun? Well, they changed it out. He's not waiting there with a BB gun. He's actually got a shotgun. And it shows Marv and the gore from the head explosion.
Oh, what they also do is that, you know, the flamethrower to the head? Well, when your eyes when they're hot is that they like expand and they pop. Yeah, his eyes actually pop.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, it was so gross.
One of the most ridiculous ones is from Home Alone 2 when the guy opens the door, he gets like the flamethrower.
Yep.
And then he like his head's on fire. So he goes to the toilet, which the water has been like changed with lighter fluid.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry. The dude's dead.
Oh, but
Yeah.
Nick, so what they do is they cut the scene of him using the zip line, so it's like he's escaping the cops, and then he's in the they put him in the house across the street, and he's watching with a maniacal smile on his face, like he's an actual serial killer.
Yeah, they
Oh,
use
God.
clips from The Good Son. If I let you go, do you think you could fly?
So good. Oh my god. They did the same thing with Willy Wonka, where
Yes.
he invited kids in there to kill them.
Yeah. Was it Veruca Salt when she falls into the bad egg thing, and they just show her body ragdoll and smack into all the gears and stuff?
They
I was like,
also
why did they leave this in?
They also did like a video on the worst Spider-Man. So Nick, you remember the train scene where he tries to stop it? What happens in this one is that he tries to stop it and his arms get torn off. So what he does is he uses his feet. In other words, his feet have web shooters as well. Then his legs fall off and he just falls down and dies.
See, well, for that at least he's Spider-Man, so you can kind of like say, oh, his body is a little bit tougher, so he can handle it. You know.
No, but he falls and the entire train falls on him. They also did one. Remember his first swing where he smacks into the wall. In this, he smacks and then bloodies the wall.
Yeah.
They also have one. Remember it in Homecoming where he jumps over the where he jumps off the Washington Monument over the helicopter and tries to swing through the helicopter. What he actually does, he jumps, but he goes a little short and he falls right into the rollerblades.
Yeah.
Oh.
So good. It's so funny. I love when they do that.
But yeah. Also, getting back to Die Hard, I'm trying so desperately to keep this on track.
Yeah.
They're more of a set of guidelines, Nick. You said it yourself.
Yeah. I know. I'm a victim of my own success. But yeah, like the tech in this is really interesting. Like all the touch screens and
Yep.
So you're saying Die Hard was the movie version of The Simpsons? They predicted we would have touchscreens? Look at Nick's face. Look at Nick's face. I love that. Just that reaction.
No, I love how the movie dates itself, though. Like, it is a fixed point in time, and I don't want to see anybody change that.
what I love about this movie is it doesn't shove it into your face what time it is. Like obviously you can easily tell like the cars and technology.
Yeah, the lack of
But-
iPhones.
That too. But it's in a sense also very timeless because like
Yeah,
they don't focus on the modern technology. It's there,
Yep.
but it's kind of timeless. Like it's very easy to forget that it's set in a certain time period.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, if it was set in like if they tried to modernize it and use modern tech, it would completely like devalue the stuff that McClane went through. You know,
Another
you could've
thing
just
that I
gotten on
found
the phone.
Another thing I found interesting is there's a lot of like cowboy talk. Like they talk about cowboys like it's pastiche, it's past its time. If this film was made now, all the cowboy talk would be replaced with superhero talk.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Like,
'cause-
So you're
Oh.
saying Die Hard was also a prequel to Batman? I'm just saying this stuff right now just to piss off Nick because it's working flawlessly. But there
Well,
you go.
Well, the thing is like the boomers were all about the cowboy stuff.
Yeah.
So in the 50s, when they grew up, and in the 60s, everything was cowboys. So it's natural that when they're in their adults, you know, when the adults will reference the old cowboy shows. But that doesn't work for millennials who there were no cowboy shows. Like that, the genre had shifted.
like we are aware of it. We had some cowboy stuff. Like there's some cowboy movies, and maybe we saw a few of them.
There was Toy Story. That counts the cowboy movie. It features a cowboy as the main character. That's a cowboy movie.
There's a snake in my boot.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Particularly
Somebody
two.
poison the water hole.
Particularly
Yeah.
Toy Story 2 when there's 4 cowboy characters,
Oh yeah, including the horse.
including the horse. Exactly. There you go.
Nah, yeah, I agree. All the cowboy stuff, they'd be like, "What are you, some kind of Spider-Man or Captain America?"
Jeez. Well, it's like there's a DC Elseworld story where all the Justice Leaguers are cowboys. Like they're called the Rough Riders, and Wonder Woman is a cowgirl, and I'm like, okay, that is actually really cool. I kind of want that.
I am
Yeah,
fighting
They
so
did
hard.
this. They
Riding
did
up.
this actually. They showed this in I think it was the War World movie, the animated movie they did.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah. Dude, I love Warner Brothers animation. Like,
Yep, there you go.
man, I wish their live action stuff was as good, but
Here's hoping Superman is good. Here's hoping.
So yeah, what did you guys, Chris? What did you think of the trailer?
okay, this one's weird for me because I saw James Gunn's influence, and it bothers me because James Gunn is a deconstructive, like, I foresee and I worry about this, and I haven't seen enough, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt because it could easily be changed because this was a teaser, not a trailer. But like, James Gunn has a very one note to his films. The Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy, they all have that like deconstructionist, like it's like let's laugh at the heroes kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, Superman is a paragon. He's basically a Jesus corollary, you know. And
Snyder certainly understood that part.
when they open up with like, and I have no problem with Crypto being in the movie. I really don't, because I think that's cool. But like when they open up with an asthmatic, gasping for his breath, beaten down God, essentially.
That's literally
And
the
then
first thing you see.
Yeah, so that's how we're being introduced.
Well, not only that, Chris. Actually, have you seen Creature Commandos?
I have not seen Creature
So they
Commandos.
show do you mind if I spoil it?
Share the image, Jared.
They
Share the
show
image.
oh yeah. So we actually see the first appearance of the Trinity in James Gunn's universe. Hang on, it's very cool.
The first, like literally the first appearance of Batman in the
And
universe.
Starfire, and for some reason they can do this to Captain Atom. But anyway, hang on.
Personally, I like the trailer because like I've always maintained, when you put James Gunn in a PG-13 realm, he does his best work. When you take the limiters off, he gets a bit too crass for my good.
Well, but like he's gonna turn a Superman movie into a team movie. Like there's way too many superheroes for a Superman movie.
Hang on. I got to pop up.
That is, I will admit that is a concern.
Yeah, well, it's
well.
the same formula though. It's the same thing he did
Chris,
with Suicide Squad.
This is the first appearance of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Supergirl. Yes, this is their first appearance.
Wow. Ooh. Man. When I said I wanted to pale Wonder Woman, that's not what I meant.
And also, Chris, it's like when I wanted the Jesus allegory, I didn't want the full Jesus experience.
Yeah,
The only
they went
good
full
part
Jesus.
of this image is that off to the side, Peacemaker is there dying, and I'm like, yes.
Well, yeah, that's another James Gunn thing. Peacemaker. He's this like laughable, like, and then not only that, but like they did everything they could to make the actor look like a little twink. Like that dude, like I've seen like shots and videos of him busting his ass in the gym to get a superheroic physique. The dude is yoked. And then they put him in this like Kevlar rubber suit, and he actually doesn't look any bigger. Like when he looks great as Clark Kent. I'm not gonna I have no problem with that. But when he goes to Superman,
the opening shot, like I think that like the shot of him outside and inside, it's like two different wigs, because that opening shot, it like that wig, it's like he's got like a muskrat on his head. But when you see him in the planet, it looks fine. So I think that was like the first day, and they were still testing it out. But for some reason, James Gunn still wants to do the shot. I think it's like a humiliation ritual or something.
Well, the other thing on that, it's like Gunn addressed the whole suit thing. He said he didn't want to have a suit that looked like it was painted on, and I'm like, literally every single image of Superman. And normally I don't say every as it applies to DC because there are all these like different versions. But no, every time you see Superman, he is ripped as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Say what you want. Henry Cavill had a fantastic suit. But all right, so Chris, I want to ask you about this. So since you're like and not really into the deconstruction thing, I was wondering, what did you think of Man of Steel?
So Man of Steel is not a like. My thing is I liked and I know I'm probably in the huge minority here, but I liked the Krypton stuff, and I would have preferred like a more sci-fi, like let's explore Krypton. And when they went into the actual Superman stuff, his dark, brooding, whatever, like, you know, people were like, oh, that's too dark, whatever. The only gripe I had with him as as the Superman thing was when when he fought Zod and snapped his neck and all that stuff. Like, we look at like the Christopher Reeve Superman, and the first thing that he
killed
does
Zod.
But the first thing he does when he fights a big dude is he's like, hey, let's go to outer space, or let's go to this farmland. And in this, it was like, let's destroy the city.
Well, in Man of Steel, if you watch the fight, he actually repeatedly tried to get the fight out of the city. The problem is it started in the city, and he's like, how do I get it out of here? Because that was basically like, if you leave me alone, I'm gonna murder everyone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like hated it, but a lot of people hated Brandon Routh's take on Superman Returns, and I didn't have really much of a problem with that either. Like,
Brandon Routh was a good Superman in a undercooked Superman movie.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah. And there's parts of that in Man of Steel too, where like, why Kevin Costner is like, no, just leave me to die. I'm okay. It's like, dude, you literally have like Super Jesus here. He could have flashed you, grabbed you, and nobody would have saw you.
That's actually from the comics where John Kent is actually in the Golden Age comics, like the original comics, where John Kent says, "Do not show anyone their powers; they will fear you or try to kill you."
That was in the Reeves thing as well, I believe.
It was in that one as well. He's like, and they've kind of played with it in the comics repeatedly. The one that
they made an entire show about in the 2000s called Smallville.
Yeah, the time they addressed in the comics, they had like John Kent say, listen, do whatever you want, but choose your moment wisely, because once you take the toothpaste out of the tube, you can't put it back. So it was really more like John Kent was, at least with the way I took it, is that Kevin Costner was like, yeah, it's cool, but if you reveal who you are, mankind is going to kill you or try and abduct you or do something to you. They will screw with you. They're not ready yet. That's why in the Snyder Cut, this is why I say rewatch the Snyder Cut, makes everything better. When Clark comes back and he's in the black suit and he's like all resurrection and hopeful, you hear in his head John Kent say, "Fly, son, it's time."
Nice.
So it was more like they were building to that. I understand that, like, building to it through different movies is not everyone's cup of tea, but they were on the path to that.
Well, this also like annoys me in that the studio meddling.
Yeah.
Like, why do we need to have a Snyder Cut? It should literally just be that's what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that should have been what we got.
Because here's why, Chris. Because so obviously what happens is Snyder committed suicide.
The executives think they're filmmakers. They think they know better than the directors.
What happened is that they would have delayed it, but they needed one more movie to release in 2017 for them to get their Christmas bonuses.
Oh my God! So it was totally.
That's why.
And the whole reason, and it's in executive meddling, is also the reason why they cut down BVS. Because they wanted to have more showings to earn more money.
Fun fact: so that Suicide Squad movie that everyone hates by David Ayer. So you know what happened with that one? So the original trailer comes out, and it doesn't like get the numbers that people that like Warner Brothers wants. So they hire another trailer company to cut it, and then they make they put like pop music in there and everything.
The Bohemian Rhapsody trailer.
Yeah. So secretly behind David's back, so David submits the movie to be like released. He releases the cut,
and they vandalize it.
They vandalized it behind his back. Do you know when he found out what they did to his movie?
After it was in theaters.
At the premiere.
Oh,
because he's sitting there at the premiere and he's like, "That's not what I shot."
Well, what I'm about to say, I am not defending Joss Whedon, but everybody shits on him for the Whedon cut or whatever. And in all honesty, I think the man did the best he could with the garbage he was given.
No, well, I would believe that if he had just tied together what Snyder had, but no, he deleted stuff, he reshot stuff, he put in his own systems. I'm like, no.
But I think the studio. Oh, sorry.
Here's the problem with that. If Whedon had directed the Justice League from the get-go, it would have been a more coherent movie. It would have been a crap movie, but it would have been a coherent movie. The problem,
one of the issues is Whedon and Snyder have two very different styles.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, exactly. They're two very disparate guys, and when you try and make those the same thing, it's like I saw a Rotten Tomatoes review. It was the only good Rotten Tomatoes review I've ever read. They said Justice League is a mutant. That's what it is.
It's a chimera, yeah. And the thing is like I don't know how much of that was his fault in the sense of he went in to deliberately sabotage it, so much as corporate meddling said, "Hey, we got this guy that did the Avengers movie. Let's get him to fix this." They grab him. Yeah, exactly. Like, so they grab him.
I mean, he was an asshole on set. Nobody.
He's an asshole in general.
Do you know what he did to Gal Gadot?
Oh God.
So remember the scene in Justice League where Flash falls on her boobs?
Oh yeah.
Do you know why her head Wonder Woman's head is facing away from camera? Because that's not Gal. That's her body double. Because she refused to film the scene, and then Joss threatened her career to the point where Gal went above his head, and apparently nothing happened. And apparently he was super racist to Ray Fisher.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it's like the point is, I would say if you watch the actual Snyder cut. It's it is all of people's gripes with Man of Steel and BVS are literally addressed.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying earlier. It's like, had we gotten the Snyder cut as the legitimate version,
or at least a cut down version.
Well, this is while the Snyder cut is great, it is unreleasable in theaters. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
there's no way you could. Yeah, like.
2.5 to maybe 3 hours, you could probably fandangle, and then release 4 hours on a DVD.
Just make a sequel. Just cut the movie in half.
Or
part 1 and 2. Like, that was the original intent. Like, there's a whole part 2 that we were supposed to get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, the point is, if they had released that, obviously cut down stuff, because there's plenty of stuff that you can cut out of that, and then it becomes like more or less.
Just take out all the slow-mo. It'll become a 2-minute movie.
No, but the point is,
play it at 2x speed.
And you know what's hilarious? You know why they won't release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad? Because what happened with Justice League is when they released the Snyder cut, literally you know what was trending that day, dude? I am wrong about Zack Snyder. Yeah. It was like, oh my gosh, he does get it. What did you do, Warner Brothers?
Well, that's what's so frustrating is, I mean, I can't speak, I've only done TV and video games, but I've seen the corporate meddling that goes on behind the scenes. That was why I had mentioned the thing with Joss Whedon is, as much as I dislike the person, he's obviously a monster of a human being, but I think a lot of it was do what you did and he had a bunch of corporate guys telling him to come on, you do it more Jossy.
That too, by the way. So you know what? So when it came out about him threatening Gal Gadot's career, you know how he responded?
How's that?
He goes, "I didn't say. She must have misunderstood me. English is not her first language."
Oh,
see, there is a reason why.
There's a reason why you've never seen Joss Whedon back after Justice.
Yeah. Despite there's huge sections of Hollywood, the fact that there are huge sections of Hollywood. That are trying to uncancel him, and it has not worked. It's because he saw. And you want to know the reason why Zach continues to get work? It's because he's the exact opposite.
I've never heard anyone say they've had a bad experience with Zach.
Everyone who's worked with Zach, they talk about how great he was to work with. Also, you can tell he's great to work with when people keep coming to work with him again, like the fact that Ray Fisher was in Rebel Moon.
Or the fact that he's still close friends with Gerard Butler to the point where people are like, is he going to show up in that cop movie that Zack Snyder's making? That would be interesting.
Or the fact that Ben Affleck was at the screening for the Justice League thing.
Yeah, that's why when people say that there's no way that all the actors would come back in the event of them allowing Zack to complete a story. I'm like, yeah, they would. Yeah, they would. They've done it before. Ben Affleck, I think Ben Affleck did the ending shot of ZSJL where he talked to the Joker. I think he did that for free.
Oh wow.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
Just because he wanted to hang out with Zach.
Well, that's the thing is like I know Mel Brooks is
You have
also
to dress him as
famous for
Batman
that.
for a day. Come on, for Ben
Who doesn't
Affleck.
want to dress as
Well-
Bat? The dude. So with his Goodwill Hunting cash, he built an actual Batcave in his home.
Hell yeah.
This is the
Look,
point where
Life
I'm
goals.
like, can I be Ben Affleck's friend?
Well, dude, like there is something to be said about that like Mel Brooks effect where it's like people want to work with you,
Yeah.
and like honestly, like you're gonna get farther in your career when everybody on board has a positive experience working with you. And I know a lot of, not personally, but I know a lot of directors who are raging pricks that have made amazingly good films. Like look at James Cameron. The guy
Woody
almost
Harrelson.
killed. Is Woody Harrelson a bad director? Or
Well, he's kind of a monster. Okay, sorry. Go ahead with the James Cameron thing.
yeah, he almost killed Mary Elizabeth Master Antonio. He almost drowned somebody else on the set of The Abyss. Like all this crap. And it's like, yeah, he makes great films, and the people that you attract to you are people who are trying to further their career but don't actually care about the products.
Yeah. James Cameron, if he did not make literally the highest grossing movies of all time, if he did not consistently pump out well-earning movies, the guy's career would have been done in the early 90s.
Yeah, Piranha 3D.
The guy is a nightmare to work with. But because he is like, if you look at the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time, 2 or 3 of those are his movies.
Yep.
Well, and it's like with Zach, it's like he attracts people that like that love the source material. Case in point, Henry Cavill is Superman.
Yep.
That's all I gotta say. For like Ben Affleck is Batman. Gal Gadot read a bunch of Wonder Woman comics to prep for her for stuff. So I'm like, this is the thing. When you attract people that are fans of the material, it shows in their performance. Like Sonic talked about that.
This is a lesson really for anybody, even us content creators.
Oh yeah,
I would say, and I've seen this firsthand. You attract what you are. So if you're a raging narcissist who only thinks of themselves,
so if you're
you'll attract people like Jared, who is also a raging narcissist who only thinks of themselves.
I personally, I want to be Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, so you want to be Power Girls? What you're telling me?
Well, I want to attract people like Sydney Sweeney to me.
Chris wants the built-in flotation device.
If you guys are ever like in a shipwreck, you'll just hold her close and go, "Don't let go."
She'll be the door.
Be the door.
And
God
the thing is, that's the problem they have with Joss Whedon. He had some success? Yes, but he hasn't had consistent success because Hollywood is always, "What have you done for me lately?"
Yep.
Well, it's like even on that. Yeah, the first Avengers movie is great, but I barely see anyone even talk about Avengers 2.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron, I think, is a bit overhated, but it is definitely lesser.
Black Widow and Hulk, no, for that alone, it doesn't get enough hate in my mind.
I think the whole like I can't have children, I feel like a monster. I think that's been kind of meme to death. I think that's a little bit. Come on, guys.
Sorry, I love an Endgame where they address it like, "Hey, Bruce, hey, Nat, we're done." But but it's like when you look at Zach's stuff, it's like the reason why he keeps getting stuff, why Netflix practically gave him a corner of their streaming service, because he brings attention. That's why I say whenever anyone like blasts his movies and like proves that they did watch them but like hates them and like ravages about them, I'm like, thank you, you're actually giving Zach another job.
Well,
if you don't like it, don't watch them, don't talk about them.
I found him to be like very polarizing in the movies that he makes, where the movies that I like of his I really like, and the movies I dislike of his I really hate. And
see,
like
my biggest go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I just, in a way, that's kind of a good thing, because ambivalence or apathy is the worst possible thing you can have in media, because if nobody has a feeling for your thing, it just vanishes into obscurity.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like what I always say about Zach, watch his director's cuts because those are that. Now, this is a legitimate criticism of Zack, is that he does have trouble telling the full story in, like, let's say 2 to 2.5 hours, and that is a legit criticism. But it's like, watch his director's cuts; they are significant. Even for Rebel Moon, they are significantly more coherent.
See, the biggest problem with Zack Snyder is no one can deny, from a visual standpoint, he is revolutionary.
Yeah.
No one can deny his films look amazing. Like, his shot composition is literally some of the greatest of all time.
Case in point, Chris. So you know the black suit from the Snyder Cut, right?
Yeah.
That is literally visual effects.
Yeah, they had to decolorize it or whatever.
No, what would happen is that they filmed it. He was in the blue suit because WB wouldn't let him have the black suit for Justice League because they felt it was too dark. Even though they're doing the Return of Superman, we had
That's why the Justice League Superman suit looks so weird.
It is ridiculously, like, bright because it was like in the event, because Zack literally made essentially a keyboard macro. So if they changed his mind, he could literally just go boop. He's in the black.
High neurobites. And that's the thing. How many directors would have that level of foresight for planning, where they'd literally just design the costume in a way that if they wanted to change the color, they just press a button? How many directors would have that level of aptitude?
Yeah. God,
but the thing with Zack Snyder always suffers.
Yeah.
Story.
Remember the redesign for Steppenwolf where he didn't look like Liam Neeson, but his entire armor was like alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's movies look good. The problem is the dude cannot tell a compact story. The fact that he needs 3 to 4 hours to tell a story is an issue.
That's a problem.
I also, like, so my biggest criticism of him is the man is a master of style, but as far as, like, actual, like, it almost feels like it's emulating human emotion instead of actually like for example, the Rebel Moon thing. I thought I was having a stroke when I was watching that because there were parts of it that made no sense, but it would just kind of flowed with the way, like, this happened because the story needed it to happen. And there were character dialogues that just, like, it's like human beings don't talk like that. And I don't know if that's just a byproduct, like the George Lucas effect in the prequels, where, yeah, it sounds like Zack is a really nice guy, but he needs somebody, he needs that asshole friend that will want to, like, that doesn't care about your feelings when you ask for feedback about your book, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like me with Nick.
But yeah, dude, God, with Infinitel Chronicles, I got one of my former coworkers, the guy just, it's like,
oh boy,
are you like, I can't say what he said about some of the stuff because, you know,
well, yeah, and that is very true. It's like every director needs someone to tell them no eventually, because otherwise it's like really weird stuff gets thrown in there.
And the thing is that Zack kind of has the same problem that Benioff and Weiss had with Game of Thrones. When they were adapting something that was already made, they were great. Like look at Zack's, like, Watchmen, 300, Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
legit great movies. Like, people are like, people are still talking about Watchmen. Like
people still talk about 300.
Yep.
And those were movies where he essentially just had the comic book as a storyboard. He had a framework. But then you look at stuff like Sucker Punch, and I like Sucker Punch. Don't get me wrong, I like that movie, but it is a mess. It is a Zack Snyder.
But by the way, Chris, do you know how he got the job for 300?
How's that?
So he kept pitching it to Warner Bros. Because he really wanted to do it, but Troy had just come out, so WB was like, "Why would we do 300? We already have a Sword and Sandal movie." So what happens that Zack was originally supposed to do the movie I Am Legend.
Oh.
But there was a mix-up, and they gave it to a different director, so they told him, okay, so you can't do that, but what else can we give you? And he just put the graphic novel on their table and said, I want to do this, like this.
Can I just say, I am actually really interested in what I Am Legend would have looked like with Zack Snyder.
Yeah, man,
you have a book. There's a book that he
Slow
can adapt
motion zombies.
Like Will Smith in his prime. By the way, if you ever see I Am Legend, watch it with the alternate ending. It makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
the
when they go up
alternate
to Vermont. Yeah, and they go to the
Or like, so you're telling me him like detonating a grenade and not destroying and not killing everyone, or like causing a nuclear explosion with a hand grenade. That somehow.
So for those who don't know the alternate ending, it's revealed that like the zombie people are actually sentient, and it was a rescue operation for the woman, and he is actually the villain of the movie.
Yep. Yeah.
That is. I never interpret. Oh my gosh, that makes much more sense now.
Well, it also shows that like they weren't those three weren't the only ones that remained, because they go to Vermont, and it leads into the next part. Because I watched the Vincent Price version way back in the day.
That one was full on vampires. That one,
Yeah, and they didn't even. Some of them didn't even look like they were dead, And then the Omega Man there with oh god, what's his face, Charlton Heston, like those are closer to what the spirit of the book was, and that alternate ending was so much better. Like it changed the whole tone of the movie, and
that
made
was the original
closer.
ending. And then the executives wanted a happy ending, so they changed it.
A happy ending where he blows everything. Okay.
Well, it's also the thing about the ending is you can interpret it as an early DEI thing because like he was doing fine, and then the woman came in, and like 24 hours later, everything's all gone to shit.
Not quite. It would be more DEI if it was a white woman.
Yeah.
No, it's a Mexican. It's a brown lady. But also, I do love how like he existed there for years and there was no problems. But like someone comes in and 24 hours later, it's all gone to shit.
Well, what does that tell you? It says if you ever want to have your problems get worse, just add XX to it.
Okay. We're getting away from this.
So you mean wait? So you mean Vin Diesel causes everything to get worse?
Yeah. Well, no, Jared.
Chris knows what I'm talking about.
Jared, that's triple X. Chris is talking about double X. There's a difference.
Wasn't there a movie called Double X?
Triple X.
No, I thought there was one in that series called Double X.
No, the first one was Triple X. And
okay, you know what I'm
Jared,
talking about, though.
Jared, I think you went to the back of the video store for that version.
Yeah, that was behind the beaded curtain.
And don't worry, they thought I was you at first because you frequent that section.
Guilty.
Hey, I was an early adopter of the internet variety. I didn't set foot in those kind of places.
You had a frequent flyer card. Is that what you're telling me?
No, it took me 45 minutes to download this Captain Janeway nude.
Oh my gosh.
The fact that I understood that reference. I'm Mr. Plow.
You need that scene from Avengers, speaking of Joss Whedon, where Cap goes, I understood that reference.
Yeah.
Oh god.
See, but going back to that, my problem with Joss Whedon, why I hate him even as a comic book movie director, because Avengers 1 is good, but he keeps putting in humor at like the worst moments when things are supposed to be serious. It's like, oh my gosh, they're gonna make a fart joke as they're like battling aliens, and I'm like, shut up.
I think the first Avengers struck a good balance, in my opinion.
Nah, I would say Avengers 3 and 4 struck that balance. At least with Thor. I think if they had done Thor 4 with the tone of the Russo brothers had done Thor 4, we would have been so much better off.
See, I'm one of those rare people. I actually like Thor Ragnarok is my favorite. Like, I like Thor 1. The fact that you hired a Shakespearean director to direct a Thor movie was kind of a genius move. Kenneth Branagh.
My favorite's Thor 2. I hated Thor 3 because it turned into Deadpool. Now, my problem is, the reason why one of the criticisms of Thor 4, why people hate it, among a lot of different reasons, is because people took Thor 3 as like a palate cleanser, and so we'll put a little more humor, but you're not going to double down on it, right? Right?
Well, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the James Gunn thing.
If you notice, all of the movies, so after Guardians of the Galaxy came out, that's when like a lot of the movies got like ridiculously.
The only aspect of Thor 4 that I will praise is the fact that Jane Foster went to Valhalla because she died fighting cancer. Like, I'm sorry. I will die on that hill that is a great
And I'll
message.
give you this. I thought they were going to replace Odin's son. They didn't.
Yeah.
If anything,
But
now he
no,
has 2 hammers. That's even
the
better.
fact that she died a
Yeah.
warrior's death
Mhm.
fighting cancer. I'm sorry, that's a great message. I'm like that is
I
a
did
great
hate
message.
the way that they announced they were going to give her Thor. It's like they brought her on stage. Taika Waititi kneeled and presented her with the hammer, and I'm like,
Yeah.
shut up, dude.
I don't like this gyno
Or
worship
like when
crap, yeah.
Taika said, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to ruin this IP."
Yeah.
Taika knew what he was doing. He was being a little shit troll. He knew exactly what he was doing.
How's that
And-
working out for you, brother?
Yeah, exactly. He chased away half his freaking audience. Like, I'm
And
sorry.
and
but-
apparently, Chris Hemsworth doesn't like. I guarantee you, a lot of the reason why Taika is not welcome back is because probably Chris Hemsworth went to Kevin Feige like, I don't want this guy anywhere because
yeah, he sexually harassed him.
because Chris didn't like the nude scene and like
Yeah.
Taika forced him to do it, you know. And I'm sorry, but Chris Hemsworth has a lot more sway than Taika.
Well,
Yeah,
that, and if this was
exactly.
a woman, if Chris Hemsworth was freaking Natalie Portman,
Oh,
then
he'd
it
be
was the same
canceled.
thing. Exactly.
Oh,
so it's this
oh,
double
He would
Oh,
be
standard bullshit.
crucified.
Oh, I gotta tell the story. So they're doing like an interview with Taika Waititi, and Taika says, "Oh yeah, I'd love to direct a Star Wars movie someday. Hey Natalie Portman, would you like to be in a Star Wars movie?"
Oh my god, yeah.
And you could just see her dying inside. Like,
Yeah, that's when I lost all respect. When I'm like, I'm pretty sure you know what Star Wars is.
I'm
pretty
Luke's
sure
mother.
you know what the. Wait. She was on the DVD, so you don't even have to watch the movie. She was on the DVD,
Okay.
bro.
So the thing
Yeah.
is, each Star Wars trilogy has their trinity. Like the classic, it's Luke, Han, Leia, and the prequels, it's Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme.
Yep.
They're literally.
She
the
was
face
literally
those
one of the
movies.
3.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's like going to you and McGregor. Have you ever thought of playing a Jedi Knight?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
Or-
offensively
or
out of
it's-
touch. Yeah.
Or it's like going to like Tamara Morrison. You know, you sound a lot like Boba Fett.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's so but that's the problem though, is like
For a joke, if I ever meet Henry Cavill, I'm gonna go, you know, you look a lot like Superman.
So Jared,
Well-
if they ever adapt the Clone Saga and Spider-Man, I want them to find a role for Tamara Morrison in that movie somehow.
He plays the older Spider-Man.
but that's the problem though, with like to go back to the out of touch, you know, like these people just don't give a shit. Like, dude, it is so sickening how many of these people in the entertainment media don't give a crap about
Well,
the projects they work on. Like,
Not
their
only that,
fans are.
Chris.
What's up?
No, so, do you know what's considered a red flag to work for Marvel Studios?
If
Yeah,
you
that
like
you've
Marvel
actually.
Comics.
If
Well-
you read the comics.
But this is why. Okay, so this is like when Harrison Ford was like he's infamous for saying how much he hates Star Wars. Like he's like, I don't care. You guys are all a bunch of loser dorks. Like I ad-libbed the.
That's why he's
our
not in
paraphrase.
episode
Yeah,
6 a
but-
lot.
But this is why the industry has such a problem with people like Henry Cavill. Henry is us. He is the fan.
Yeah.
He loves this stuff. Like, and not only that, but he's so bankable on both fronts. Like
He's
every
a
chick-
good looking dude. Like the
yeah,
dude
the
is-
chicks love him because he's a hot dude, and the dudes love him because he's a Giga Chad that is into the same. Like, we want him as a friend.
One
You know what I
of
mean?
us. One of
Yeah.
us.
A video on Instagram of his went viral. He was just building a PC.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And-
to a certain Star Wars loving fan, it was softcore pornography.
Well, he posted a photo once of like a Warhammer model he was painting, and he went into a dissertation about how he likes to give each one a backstory as he paints it. I'm like, dude.
But this is like, so that gets in the way of the Hollywood meddling, of all the corporate, you know, the meddlers
Yeah,
who are
because
like, I want to put my own
apparently-
stink on this.
The only reason why he's considered difficult is because on The Witcher, when they wanted to do things that Geralt wouldn't do, he was like, no. And he was quoting page and paragraphs.
Yep. Yeah, he brought the book in. He's like, "Look,
I
it's
think
right
the only
here."
reason, because you notice how they recently announced, like, all right, the Amazon show is totally going forward. I think there were some backroom dealings where like, okay, Henry, we will not interfere, because I guarantee you, like that's why the Warhammer series got stalled for so long.
Yeah.
Is because you had the female custodian thing come out. That was a huge controversy. Because Henry's a producer on this stuff. He actually has some sway in this one.
The next edition of Warhammer, the female custodians will be retconned out.
Well, they should be. They don't exist.
They should be. But my point, or make them the sisters of battle. There's literally female space marines. That's what they are.
Yeah.
See, my problem is, it's not just that they change the lore. They change the lore all the time. Is that they try to pretend, oh, it's always been this way.
Yeah, none. I have different codices of Space Marines going all the way back to like 2006 to 2005. That would say no, brother.
Why do you think? Yeah. Why do you think that there's been this big push to get rid of physical media? Like, exactly. Like look at the Skullgirls thing. Like they literally went back and changed the art book, which was like a Kickstarter bonus thing. Did you hear about that, Chris?
By the way, so there was this one YouTube channel that like markets itself on like giving like sci-fi lore and stuff. It's real. It was a good channel until this moment.
Oh, is it a certain institute?
Yes, they got into a debate on like having female space marines, and they said there's nothing in the lore that says women can't be space marines. And then people pulled up paragraphs from the actual Space Marine Codex that says here's why women cannot be space marines.
I used to really like their channel. Then
yeah, me too.
And they're atrocious on Twitter. Like I've seen some of their Twitter stuff; they are bad.
At that point, I unsubscribed from all their stuff. I was like, no, I'm done.
But not only that, but like,
you know what? Let's call the fuckers out. It's a Templin Institute.
Well, yeah. Well, let's face it, guys. Though, like all of this crap, like you know how we talk about whitewashing and blackwashing. This is pinkwashing. Like these are male-dominated hobbies. Not everything needs to have chicks in it, and on top of that. The women, the small niche of women that are attracted to this male-dominated industry, things like, or these male-dominated spaces like certain video games or Warhammer or hobbies and stuff, they appreciate the hobby for what it is. They don't need it changed. The ones that want it to change are tourists and don't belong here.
And well, the other problem is they're also preying on goodwill, because was there a problem in like the 90s of like girls not being allowed to enjoy video games? Yes. And maybe even as far as the 2000s. And there was a push to accept women who like games. And yes, there are a lot of women who do like games, who are genuine fans of the hobby. I would know. I'm dating one.
We don't need to feminize this shit. It ruins it.
I agree. And I think the problem is they prey on... Because here's the thing. Guys don't want to exclude women from the hobby. We'd love to have girls come into the hobby.
If a woman taking interest in one of your hobbies is a good thing. No guy would.
Guys would love to be able to talk comic books with a woman. Trust me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, and
that's why the typical guy procedure, when you find someone that respects the lore, you immediately sink down on one knee. That is the procedure.
My knee, like
you hold on and don't let go, brother, because that ain't coming around that often.
I found myself a keeper. She's not going anywhere.
But
if you're here, hats off to you.
The part where I really have issues is when these people try and gaslight and say that that like comic books have never been diverse, that they've always been just the white characters, and I'm like. John Stewart, Green Lantern, Static Shock, or like half of the well-known X people are women.
Yep.
Like the fact that there was a big push for black comics in the 90s, with Dwayne McDuffie.
Yeah.
But I don't see a problem with like what's happening though is because these things have become mainstream, because these nerd geek like dork hobbies that we all love like have become these like mainstream things that they're trying to cast broader nets with. They're failing to understand when you expand out to other markets, you are now neglecting the core market. So the things that are attracting new people into these markets are wholly turning off the people that originally built and sustained these markets. So you're building a house without a foundation. You know, I don't want to see feminize this. There doesn't have to be a chick-led thing in every freaking game now, or in every fucking comment. You know, I'm tired of it. Like,
Or use the characters that already exist.
well, like for example, look at what they did with He-Man. Okay, He-Man was originally like I watched the documentary on. There was a thing about Mattel, and it was a woman. Okay, this is one of the women at Mattel was like, we already had Barbie. Barbie was doing gangbusters with our girl markets. We wanted to create something to attract boys, and they started looking into marketing towards boys. And they're like, you know what? We should do something that will bolster their self-esteem, build them up. You know, the Power Sword and He-Man, and like these were things to give boys confidence. And then what happened? Kevin Smith came in and said, nope, we got to make lesbian Tila and emasculate He-Man because he's a dumb man. And that happens
the other thing about
all of our
He-Man
hobbies.
Was the whole like Skeletor stuff didn't exist at first. Originally, He-Man was a thinly veiled Conan knockoff.
Yep.
And they had to change it because they were risky of getting sued. And like,
but it was a boy thing, and it was designed to bolster and build up boys. Okay. And
like I often look at like the whole Ghostbusters Afterlife situation as a perfect encapsulation of what not to do. Because Ghostbusters, it's kind of a boy brand, but it's also a boy and girl brand. Because I feel like the fan base, like 75% boys, 25% girls, or maybe 50-50. But there is a large girl fan base for Ghostbusters. But like the thing is, the movie was made. It was like they actively discouraged the Ghostbusters fans to not see the movie. And you know what happened? They didn't go and see the movie.
Exactly. Well, that and like, so the original Ghostbusters was a raunchy male comedy. It was about a bunch of dudes that got into
SNL comics.
Yeah,
It's an SNL movie. It's essentially an SNL movie.
But
guys,
it's a raunchy male comedy. Like,
did you know what I was reminded of recently? Did you know that when the Wonder Woman movie was coming out, there were theaters trying to do female-only screenings?
yes, I saw that and I was like, you just eliminated half. Like, I was a fan. Like, Gal Gadot won me over.
Do that.
Yeah.
Did you know that most of the people who went and saw the Marvels were men?
Because most men are comic book fans.
Yep.
Yeah, like a lot of the female fans actually rejected that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe because Brie Larson is not as marketable as you think she is.
I mean,
And that's a shame too.
Going on an award show and saying, I don't want some 30-year-old white man to tell me about A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah. It wasn't made for you.
Okay.
But, yeah. So we're not going to go see it. How come nobody saw this movie?
The thing about Brie Larson is I've seen stuff where she's likable and she's friendly. But a lot of the stuff, I really feel like Brie Larson is just coached wrong for a lot of stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's autistic, because she does kind of come across as like autistic and just does what she's told. Because
she was a musician. She was a singer.
Yeah. And I like she was good in Scott Pilgrim. I actually think she was good in Skull Island.
Yeah, I don't even like. It's weird. I didn't even know that was her. I forgot that was Brie Larson in that film.
Yeah. So let's wrap up here because Jared's got to go, and
I'm dying over here. It's all good.
Oh no,
he's dying in our arms tonight. It must have been something I said. So
it's always something you said. Nick.
Dying.
I'm just dying in your arms tonight. All right, Chris, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
All right. Well, yeah. So we're still working away at the Infinitil Chronicles stuff. Book 2, the campaign we're hoping to get out Q1 of next year. And I got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Some of it I really can't divulge yet, but I'm super excited. I'm working with a great artist, and she's been banging away at some awesome stuff for book 3. And I'm hoping that we can show off some of that stuff in the not too distant future.
Heck yeah.
Once book 2's campaign launches, like the link there in the chat is for the pre-launch. That'll get you onto the mailing list. And if you sign up for that, you can get access to special perks that won't be available to everybody else. And yeah, what I'm seeing for book 3, Like I'm happy with the story of book 2, and seeing where it goes with book 3. I'm super excited because this is a 10-book series I've had planned out for over 30 years, and it's like a, you know, it's frustrating to not get it out as quickly as you want, but at the same time you gotta get that quality check in there. So you know, I'm excited to see once I get this in people's hands. You know, we're like epic fantasy, dude. It's so weird because the 90s, that was like the last time, in my opinion, like right around the 2000s with Lord of the Rings, the early 2000s. That was it for me. Everything that's come out afterwards has been like comedies and
and like the thing about Lord of the Rings movies is they made so much money. Like
Yep.
they won all the Return of the Kings won 13 Oscars.
Wow.
And we didn't get very many. Like you'd think Hollywood would be like, all right, movie made money, movie get awards, people like it, let's make more of that. That's how Hollywood works.
Yeah.
You really didn't see many fantasy movies.
No.
Like you got like Uwe Boll did a Dungeon Siege movie.
Yep. In the Name of the King.
Yeah, like Nathan Statham was like a medieval knight, and you got Lily Sobieski or whatever.
Yeah,
That's like the most we got. That's like the most we got. Like there was like you would think like in a normal world there would have like the 2000s would have been like a big fantasy revival.
Yeah, the 90s had that with Dragonlance and stuff.
The 80s had huge fantasy, like Legend, the movie Legend.
Yep. Yeah.
Like 80s had it. Had a lot of fantasy.
That's what I'm hoping I can capture with these books. So yeah, hopefully we'll see it in people's hands in the not too distant future and get some more buzz around it, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that I really can't divulge.
And I look forward to watching the Netflix adaptation where they make all the elves black and you're just like curmudgeon about it.
Somebody actually joked with me and said you should do a woke edition of Infinitel Chronicles where there's like a they them morbidly obese black Aisling, and like she's fighting the opposite thing instead of trying to keep her baby. But anyways.
all right, Jared, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
All right, so at 10 p.m. we're doing Comics League Dark, which is our usual news show. On Saturday, we're going to be talking about Planet Hulk, the animated movie. And then at 9 p.m. on Saturday, I'll be going live on the Lethal Geeks channel to talk about Snyder and all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
And on Monday, Britt and I are going to be releasing an episode talking about why Superman and Wonder Woman don't need to be grounded by annoying characters like Lois and Steve Trevor. And I won't be doing a Wednesday video because it's Christmas, but we'll see what.
Are you doing a Sunday video?
Yeah.
All right. And if you're doing the rewatch,
no.
I'll be there too.
Actually, no, I can't do it this week though.
Okay, so Superman rewatch is
unless you want to do it earlier, but let's talk about it later.
Yeah, so I'll be on CLD later. I'll be harassing Jared, as I usually do. On Saturday, I'll be continuing my playthrough of Breath of the Wild. You guys have been really responding to that. That's been pretty freaking awesome. I will not be doing my Monday or Tuesday streams because Christmas. But on Friday, we'll be doing the Friday Night Frenzy. We'll be doing the wrap-up, like the 2024 year-end wrap-up, predictions of next year, all that stuff. I'll be picking up Screecher 3 on Monday. Like I said, I did the Lost Kingdom, and the last thing I'll say is I do have a bit of an announcement. So, sadly, the artist for Screecher, Brian Q, has decided to move on to other things, and he will not be returning for issue 4 Screecher.
No.
I am in talks with someone already to replace him. But Screecher 4 is still happening. It'll be with a new artist. But I wish Brian Q all the best. He was a great guy, and thankfully we parted on good terms. I'm not saying like he might work on like a one-off project here in the future. But yeah, I mean I'm just happy. I parted with him on good terms. I'm kind of like, oh, I'm glad how I handled that. But anyway. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Jared, screw you. And remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones to walk through it.